welcome back to Open Q&A. So that's what this is, Open Q&A. We're answering questions as they come. Some of you sent the questions already, and we'll open with that. But if you're here and you have a question, we'd rather take all the questions, but you take priority. How about that? Okay. All right. All right. I'm just organizing all the attendees. Okay. Don't be shy. I see a lot of familiar faces here or names. And some of you I have not connected with you, so maybe we can start with a quick intro. All right. All right, guys. So thank you so much for being here. I realize this is late Saturday, so weekends, and if you're working still at W2, maybe this is your only time to relax. This is the time that you take to invest in your education and your networking. So thank you for choosing to be here. There's this is a free event. We've been doing this for I don't know, like 3 years at least. We also have a third Thursday of the month we have a virtual meetup. Sometimes we bring speakers. Sometimes we are sharing the things that we learn and the many paid events that we attend. So we have that going, and we've been doing that for at least 3 years for sure. And so that's just another way for us to keep connected and motivated. We love seeing your progress, hearing your success stories, and then just staying in community. That's two of the main things that are gonna help you be successful in real estate. Building confidence, and how do you build confidence is by repetition, and how do you do repetition is by just continue to do the work that needs to be done. Um, I'm I'm here to share that nobody has knocked at my door and asked me, "Hey, do you want to connect?" So because of that, we are very intentional, and the time that we put into connecting with all of you and just being purposeful and continue to stay in community with you. So we appreciate you being here. We understand that your time is valuable, so we want to take all of your questions, and any questions that are here, we'll answer. But for those of you that we have not connected yet, because I see some names that I have not, that I have not been, and either in person meeting you and or connected by text or email. My name is Maricela, and my husband Christopher Linger is probably here listening mode. But if you want to raise your hand, I can bring you in the panelist room. Um, I um I, I have been in the real estate since 2006. Currently, I'm in Austin, Texas, and this is where I came after I came from Mexico. I was born and raised in Mexico and migrated to in Austin, Texas, and that's where I found my first duplex. And when I started doing this by myself, I didn't really know what I was doing. I simply was looking for not paying rent in an apartment. And if I can make some money to help me pay for the mortgage, that was a plus. And that's exactly what I did. So I found my first duplex, living in one side, did the typical house hacking that now is very well known. But I didn't know what I was doing. So house hacked my first duplex successfully, and rented out both sides once that I moved out to out of the States to go to grad school. And when I came back from grad school, I live in the place. I renovated it, and then I bought a second house. Which then, when I started traveling for work, my main work line is I work in the hospital as an anesthesia provider, and when I started traveling to do those services in different states around the country, I rented my second house as Airbnb. So those two real estate assets were being paid by somebody else for over a decade, and I kind of like that. So when I joined the military and deployed, I was very purposeful in using my time to understand more of the real estate and specifically the tax optimization. For me, since I was, in a higher earning bracket and a higher tax bracket, and if you are a medical professional, you probably understand what I'm speaking about. um, it was very, very disheartening to see that a lot of my paycheck was going to pay for taxes. So I purposefully study the people that were doing this successfully and how they were decreasing their taxes and diversifying income or income sources. And so that's exactly what I did when I came back from deployment. I started working on building more of my cash flow, and immediately went and bought two fourplexes, and kind of learned by doing. And I the first those two fourplexes came with a Section 8 families, and I had no idea what Section 8 was. When my agent told me about Section 8, I was like looking at the contract. I was looking at where is that Section 8? Like I was looking for Section 8 out of the contract purchase. The contract. I have no idea. Again, I didn't even realize that government pays for your house, and if you met certain income. And I just learned by doing. And so fast forward from that, and I met my husband in the 2017, and he immediately bought into the idea of building diversified income with the real estate. And so we started acquiring more properties. We more than double our net worth, more than double our um, doors or units. And by 2020, everything just kind of came to hard stop. You know, when you have those times in your life when you have like you have that routine and everything is going, and you just kind of know that you have a control chaos per se. That's exactly what we had. Everything was controlled. It was still chaos, but we were self-managing. We were managing from distance. From he was stationed in San Diego. He was active duty full time, dedicated to the active duty, and I was still traveling and still doing reserves in the Navy. So when COVID happened, as many of you know, our lives were reshaped. We were called in different directions. My military career put me on a 24-hour report time, and so I couldn't really move. I was kind of stuck in Austin, and my husband Chris, he was in the same position. He couldn't do much of anything. A lot of restrictions being military, and our portfolio being almost, I would say half of that was Section 8. We deal with the government a lot. So if you're right now with dealing with the government issues, whatever you have going on, and your maybe your business or your primary income, um, it is very challenging. And so we needed to rethink what we were doing, and part of that was investing in education, and we invested in a lot of um, masterminds that help us just feel more comfortable pulling the trigger and different business, different assets, and we started disposing our portfolio at a really good profit. Most of them double or invested capital, more than that. And that put us in a position where we could move fast into just going to larger acquisitions and partnerships. And again, investing in our education. We have invested, I will say, more than $500,000 each of us, and different education platforms. And we have definitely recover all of that and more. So we're grateful for all of the learning experiences, not only through the masterminds and the the gatherings, and but also for the personal learnings that we have acquired through growing into a portfolio that grew really fast and go in different directions. So if we are again if we haven't met, we started diversified into multifamily initially because it had the largest depreciation, and we were selling our portfolio, so we didn't want to do the capital gains. Just I would call it penalizing, but so a lot of the sales that we did, we were very purposeful and triggering depreciation. So we went like in 9 months, we had about 1,200 units. And that kind of like when your money is invested, when you have your money invested in a project, you're like vigilant. Imagine a baby. When you have a baby, you are just like, are they breathing? Are they how they're doing? Like, why they're crying? What is the noise? Like we were super hyper vigilant, and the projects that we were invested passively. And that's what we encourage now, when people is like getting into this new business, or transitioning from doing your own and buying your own properties. And there's something to be said about investing passively. You're purposefully learning. You probably are here, and if you're not invested with us, you're probably just like doing something else, like just distracted. That's just human nature. But when you have the money and the game, you're gonna pay a different kind of attention. So that's what happened to us. And when we invested in those uh, uh, passive investments, we were very purposeful again to tell the team, hey, we want to learn this business, and we want to do our own, or be do this with you. And that's exactly what happened. And several of those projects, we were actually able to go back and be general partners. So anyway, so if you're here and you're thinking, I'm new, I don't know what GP is, what an LP is, like I have no idea what all those that terminology means. Just give yourself be patient with yourself, but also be proactive. Like you have to put in positions where you learn and you're forced to speak the language. Again, I came from Mexico, and when I came to the US, I didn't speak a lick of English. So I have to put myself, and not only to speak the language, but then to learn the terminology, and just like you have to be able to absorb every word that you don't know. One, write it down. If I said a word that you don't understand it, write it down. I still remember, I found the other day, I found the notes that I took in the first meeting that I was talking to a couple that walked us through syndication and investing in a group, or investing passively. And I was massively like writing down. And now I look back and I'm like, why did I wrote LP and GP? Because at that time, those words didn't make sense to me. So if you're here and I say a word and you don't know what that means, you need to write it down. You need to text me and ask me, hey, what that is. Or even like on your own, go to investopedia.com, and I put in the chat when I stop talking, investopedia.com. It will give you any definition. Go to ChatGPT if you are not familiar with that. Just you literally can put all of your questions, anything that you come across and you don't understand, put it there, and it will give you like, ask ChatGPT, give me an explanation. I am a let's say a 9-year old trying to learn investing in real estate. This is the questions that I have. And then just train that chat to answer your questions. Like, I promise you, I didn't have the technology years ago, but if you're here and you're not using that technology today, you are seriously falling behind. So let me put those websites in the chat so that you guys can have them. Um, And let me know what questions you have. All right, let's see. I'm gonna write investopedia.com. And again, I don't get paid for promoting any of this. And the other one is Chat GPT. Those two are free resources that you guys can use. But um, so yeah, if you have any questions right now, raise your hand. If you don't know how to raise your hand, you can go to the bottom. Um, and then just do the react button, which is has a little heart, and then and just click on it, and it will give you the option to raise your hand. We do no promotion, so no promoting any deals. This is purely Q&A, question and answer that serves the public. Okay, so yeah, so and again, thank you so much for being here. So I want to share experience an experience. um that last week we were in, I think it was last week, we were in Dallas. We were visiting a property and doing some other visits for asset management. And I uh I wanted to go different to just uh, visit different places, different properties, and I noticed that my GPS was not working. And I put different addresses, and it just wasn't working. And thankfully, I was with Chris, so Chris has his phone, and he was like able to navigate um in Dallas. I know the major areas, but I don't know like street by street. So I was trying to use my GPS. So I was really, really frustrated with that. Um, and then so I realized I did all the troubleshooting. I did use ChatGPT, thank you very much. And I realized that I couldn't fix it. So I finally decided to go to Apple. I do have an Apple. So I went to Apple Store, and being there, like seeing all these kids, and I call them kids because they can definitely be my kids. They're like very young kids and very knowledgeable, and they're like fixing this and all like that, are doing all this with the programs they have, and they immediately diagnosed my phone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like it just make me feel that I am in a different spot. This is definitely not my area of expertise. And I realize how many times I talk over some concepts that I think that they're easy because I already know them, because I'm familiar with the terminology. I've done it, 25 times in the acquisition process. We, open PSA, submitted LOIs, did raise capital. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I can only imagine the people that attend our webinars when I start going on blah 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 blah, blah and they're like lost. And I realized that there is an area of expertise that we all have. And not that I didn't know that, but it just was highlighted at this specific moment when this kid just came and fixed all my problems in like minutes. And so I guess the experience here and the takeaway is, don't waste your time trying to figure it out all by yourself. Realize that other people here or in the other communities have the skills that you need. Please do not waste years, months, weeks, or even days. Just ask the question. I simply gave my phone to this kid. I'm like, here, can you fix this for me? Like, seriously, like, and he's like, "Woo, woo, woo." So please ask the questions. There's no questions that is going to be like too basic. There's no questions that is going to be too advanced. I am definitely not going to give you advice, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I did, if I've done it, and if no, we're going to discover together. So, that being said, I have a hand up. So let me invite you to the panelists. You should see an invite. Hi, James. You're muted and off camera. There you are.
Hello. It's a little
How
dark
are
in
you?
here. Sorry. Um, Hi. Hey, yeah, so I have a question about getting commitments for before you get the syndication opened. Um, is there any kind of special form or anything that I need to get filled out for that sort of thing, or what's the proper way to get kind of commitments, so to speak, soft commitments, so to speak?
Pen and paper. Talk to your friends and family. If you're doing a 506B, just talk to your friends and family, write it down, make you a note. I still do that same thing. You can do a form. If do you have a CRM?
I have a CRM for my business. I don't have one set up for real estate yet, but I have a spreadsheet. Also, I have a Zoom, so I might be able to. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do like a survey or something, or maybe even just ask questions, I guess, and I can probably track that.
Yeah, so you can definitely track that. You can if you want. So we normally do. So we have GHL, go high level. That's what we use for our CRM.
I
And
have the
CRM
same.
for those of oh yeah, for those of you that don't know what CRM stands for, is customer management relationship tool. And it just tracks your conversation, especially if you're doing a 506B. 506B is an offering, a type of offering that allows you to raise capital from um, previously established relationships, usually your friends and family, and it just documents all of your interactions with them. So it's great because then some people might be following you and might be attending your webinars or your events, and they don't text you directly, but you can go back, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I would love to invest with you, and you're like, well, I don't think I know you, have we talked? But they've been in all your webinars, so you can go back and trace how many events they have attended, what kind of emails they opened from you. It is a really, really amazing tool. So that's a good way to track your conversations, and then you can create forms from them from the CRM. And the forms you can put anything from, like, how much are you looking to invest, um uh, you are an accredited or not. You can create a form. It's a very simple, 5 or 6
Sure.
questions, and then just put them in your list. And so when you're ready to take commitments, when you have your PPM, your private placement memorandum, then you can just move them to um, into the portal, the investment portal.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Thank you. That really helps.
Awesome. Well, let me know if you need help with your CRM. We do have a team that's what they're specialized on. We're so grateful for them. So if you bless you,
Thank you. Excuse me.
is it cold in Indiana?
It's getting there. It's supposed to snow, I think, on Monday, they said, so I'm not ready.
Oh my God. My brother
Um,
lives there, so I'm just gonna send him wishes and warm feelings.
well, if you guys are ever in town, you're always welcome to stop by. But
Thank
I'd love
you.
to get with you guys.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
yeah, so I'll send you guys a text a little bit later, but you guys have been super helpful for sure. So,
Awesome. Thank you, James. Always great to see you here.
all right, thank you.
And maybe we can do that. We can talk about raising capital, but you certainly are like many steps away from some people here. So, um, but yeah, let me
Well, this is
yeah,
my first deal, but I want to say Chris and Maricela were the first two that really like took us under our wing, under their wings, and like kind of started teaching the game. So you guys are really in a great spot learning from these guys. Super professional, everything they do.
thank you so much. Appreciate you and your beautiful wife. Always supporting. I know we met several times and the events and well, a couple times I think now, and meetups that we do, and when we visit different places, and
Yeah,
one of them in
it's always cool
Indiana.
to see you guys travel.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to stay here and ask more questions and see what if anything else comes up.
Yeah.
Um,
This
but
deal is coming together really well. It's my first deal ever, so
that's
really
awesome.
cool to see it like progressing. But I'm starting to get people. Yeah, I have been talking to everybody that I know that I've met in passing, but I'm getting some local people who are really interested. I'm getting some people from out east that are really interested. So. It's really cool. And then I got like a property manager who's already in place and she's really excited for this. So
That's awesome.
it's like you guys talk about like everything just kind of comes together when it starts to happen, I guess. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to get a lot less nervous about it, but at first I was like I almost actually backed out just out of fear. Um, but we'll see how it goes. It seems to be really moving forward. So the cool thing
Nice.
about this multifamily real estate that I really do appreciate is almost hard, like they say, it's almost hard to go wrong because unless you're just overly determined and you don't listen to people around you, because I've brought a ton of deals and they've all been shut down, and like for a minute I just thought, man, like I don't know if I'll ever get
Right.
there. But just
That's awesome.
perseverance, learning, getting one step ahead further than the last time is the biggest thing for anybody who's newer in here that
I
I would
love
like,
that.
really share. So
That's
just
awesome.
keep underwriting, find some friends, underwrite with them, start talking about real estate with other people.
Yeah.
Brokers, become friends with brokers. Just call them out of the blue just to say, hey, sometimes they love that stuff. So,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's great advice. And like we always say, your juniors will grow up and then they're doing the things and then you just see them flourish. And that that's the beautiful thing about this, at least the community that we create. And we see people coming in brand new. I mean, I think, I mean, I know every senior sponsor or senior real estate investor has started where we all started, with a lot of questions. And one of the things that keep coming up is just keep doing it, keep at it. It doesn't matter how many times the doors are closed, like, maybe you just feel rejected. I've seen a lot of the deals that you pursued, and I've seen them go like it's a no go. We done the same thing. We pursue deals and like, oh, this is a no, this is a no. But you just go through the pile of poop and then just find the
yeah.
little wow. And when you find it, you're like, wow, this is it. You can't
Well, it's so
pass.
funny too because, and I'll be honest, guys, like don't overthink the deals. Like I see some people like, oh, should I stay away from LoopNet or should I do this? Guys, you will find it. I don't know how to say it. I guess it's probably almost like dating. You'll just find the deal when you're not even looking for it almost. Like I threw this LOI thing and this thing's just gonna fall apart in a matter of days. And now here I am about to sign a PSA, which is like, wow, like kind of crazy. You
It's
know what I
really
mean?
happening.
So,
That's
but
awesome.
I feel good about it because I've been asking a lot of questions. I've been getting a lot of input, a lot of advice.
Mhm.
Um, and so that just really kind of supports my own, confidence in my underwriting. So,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And that's great to see, because you're absolutely right that sometimes we're like, you're like, I don't know if this is gonna happen. Let me just submit the LOI, and if they can meet me, at least this is what we do. If they can meet me at the price that it makes sense for me and my investors, then I'll pursue it, you know. And if it doesn't happen, there's no feelings. Like
that's
there's
where
no
I become, yeah, you almost get numb. You're just like, here it is. So I try even now, I'm still trying to stay very like, keep my emotions out of it. A little exciting, a little nerve-wracking,
hmm
but at the same time, if you put in the work, um, the people around it will see the potential. It's almost so, the banks will look at it, like you said. They're
hmm
not going to accept it if it's not the right time or place or the deal even. So,
yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that. And yeah, keep us posted and come back and tell us all about it. That a lot of the acquisitions, what people hears, especially if you're not in part of it, and this is what we do. We present case studies because you want to see what happened. How do you find a deal? What happened during the acquisition? What are the steps that took place? And then what happened after that? Is it performing? Come 6 months, a year after that. And then that's why it's so important to stay in community, because if you come and see what's happening right now, one event, one single event, you'll see like, wow, this is either good or bad, whatever, whichever way. But when you stay long enough, you get to see the continuity of the acquisition. You get to see what happened to that deal. Is that deal performing? Are we, in a tight situation? So you get to continue to see the case study. This is, this is relating that to a medical in the medical community. My part when I do anesthesia, I put the patient to sleep. I wake them up. They're safe, and I transfer the patient. But I like to go back and see, hey, like how did this patient, um, you know, recover after? What are the things that I need to change? Because many times when you see the after, like let's see James case or the James acquisition or even our acquisition. Hey, what are the things that you didn't see at that time that you were so excited about it? Like right now, we are acquiring a property. It's a 34 units, and we are right into it, and I'm sure that 6 months from now we'll be like, wow, we should have done this, or maybe we should have prepared for this, or we're like, wow, we didn't see that this could happen. So it is important for you to stay in continuity, and by staying in the community, being continue to attend these events, or even talk to the people, like talk to him, like 6 months from now, just if just text him, put it on your calendar, and text James to see how the deal perform. Text me to see how our deal perform. We actually have every month we have updates. We have an investor webinar when we talk about all of our deals. How are we doing? What are the things that we didn't see? Maybe we're like pivoting from our strategy, or what are the things that we are now implementing because of what we learned. And seriously, this acquisition, this going through the whole process of building your portfolio is like going to college. If you don't if maybe you have a degree, but you're acquiring a degree. And what I see a lot of the times is people gets um impatient, I will say. They feel that they are like not making a lot of progress. I've seen a lot of deals and nothing makes sense. I'm not seeing the results. I've been doing this for 6 months, and you have to be patient with yourself, because the process of acquisition, it's a long process. If you were selling fire extinguishers, and you were in a place that have a fire, it doesn't matter how much you're selling the fire extinguisher. People is gonna be like, give that to me. My hair is on fire. I need that right now. Sadly, we are not in that business cycle. We are not in that like fast close. Like we're building the relationships. We're asking questions. We're underwriting. We're building another relationship with the lenders. We're building another relationship with the investors or the partners. And so that takes time. So if this is new to you and you haven't, you're still struggling to get your first deal, don't get discouraged because some of the doors might be closed on you. Instead, just go back and do the repetitions. Like you have to do the reps. I mean, a hundred deals underwriting before you can see one that makes sense. And we've been doing this for a while, and we've seen it in ourselves. We've seen it in people that are connected with us. We see it in the communities that we're part of. It's just repetition. That's what's gonna get you to your deal. So let's see. Is there any other question here? Um, what is PSA? Yeah. So PSA is purchase sales agreement. So when you submit an offer, an LOI, an LOI is a non-binding. So an LOI is pretty much what we use to um, build or one. So number one is to express the like, hey, we're interested, we love the deal. We did the analysis, we did the underwriting, and this is the price that we can offer. And by the way, we're also looking to close in this time, which is, your negotiation between the closing time. And we want to move fast. So that's the contingencies. So we're getting to contingencies. One is the price. The next things that you negotiate in the LOI is the contingencies. So, oh, by the way, I'm looking to move fast to closing. So from the time that I finish my due diligence, I want, 15 days, 30 days to closing. So you're telling the seller, once that I know that everything is the way you present it, then I'm ready to close in this much of time. So you're telling the seller that you're looking to sell to close fast. Okay. Um, and the due diligence period. That's another piece of the LOI that you can negotiate. I'm looking to complete the due diligence, and I mean, there's like 45 days, 60 days. You can put anything in that time frame. But if your competition is saying that they can finish due diligence in 30 days and you're like asking for 60 days, you can just imagine who is going to win. Okay. So you, in the LOI, you want to make yourself, or you want to present yourself as a fast to close, the less friction for the seller, and probably the most appealing price. Now, not all the time is about the price. Sometimes it is about the terms, how soon you want to close, how the less contingencies you have, and sometimes maybe you have a relationship with the broker, or they know that you have closed in a deal with the same team, and that is what's going to put you up front of the list of the LOIs. So with the LOI is before the PSA. So the PSA is after the LOI is accepted. Now, when you submit the LOI, you put your contingencies. Maybe you said, if I cannot get um, agency lending, I'm not going to close on this deal, because the agency lending might be 6, 5.5 right now. And if I can assure that, if I can qualify this deal to close on with that interest rate, this deal doesn't make sense. Um, or you can say, well, I need more time because whatever, my due diligence team is not going to be there and I need more time. But what if you said, well, I'm going to pay extra help or extra expedite reports so that I can get my due diligence done, and I can give you a yay or nay, do I move forward to PSA or not? And then that could be another appealing thing for the seller. Okay, so after you put all those contingencies, oh, the other big contingency that you can negotiate in the PSA is how much money you are looking to put down, or in escrow, or EMD. That's what it's called, EMD, EMD, earnest money. I'll think of the third word. So at earnest money, you can say, I can put 1%, 2%. I mean, we've seen crazy, crazy competitive prices where they said, I want this property, I'm gonna put 5% contingency money. Contingency EMD money is gonna go hard at blah. And we're like, there is no way. I need time to negotiate. I need time to come back with the due diligence reports. I need time for due diligence. So in that case, that person that is looking to go more aggressively and close faster, and put their money at risk, they're gonna probably get the property. But it doesn't mean that that's the case for every single situation. Some sellers might be more leaning towards this group that close a property with the broker, because the broker is used to dealing with them, and they're like good group of people to communicate and do business with, and they might choose you because of that. Now, so then after they decide whether you get the property or not, whoever gets the property, whoever gets awarded the property after the LOI award, um, then you're gonna go into a PSA. Now, one of our mentors always tells us, you don't want to be the only one making an offer on a property. So when you submit the LOI and you're the only one submitting the offer, probably just be cautious, because why is not more people coming and submitting offers? And you might be told by the broker, well, this is off market. You are. you know, I gave you this information, and now you are the only one person that is being presented with this deal. Now, if this is a new deal and this is you're new, you're like, I will be wondering, why me? What makes you think that I'm the buyer? Okay, so you have to ask those hard questions. And when you have a deal that kind of makes sense and you're like, I'm moving forward, you don't want to ask those questions because you're like, well, why would I push them away when they're coming towards me? I want that property. So you always want to have competition. But let's pass after all that. Um, then you go into PSA. That PSA is a legally binding document. If you don't follow and yeah, fulfill all of the contingencies that you mentioned there, you can be legally binded to, be penalized or, lose your money, so pretty much. So let me see. There's another question here. Is there any way I can skill set to facilitate different aspects? Okay. Is there any way I can collaborate or partner with you, or I don't have my glasses, or your team on multifamily by leveraging my skill set or facilitating in different aspects of multifamily acquisition to close? That's a great question. We get that question a lot. I don't, because your name is not spelled out. I don't know who you are. So the best way to even get to know us, or to for us to get to know what you can bring to the table, is to get to know us. So thank you for being here. Definitely reach out. I see your name three times in here. So you're definitely here. But I don't, I just, that's the thing, I don't know who you are. So please reach out. Let's make sure that we know each other. Like, maybe you don't even care to acquire properties that we acquire. So number one, just reach out. It doesn't have to be us. Whoever you're looking to partner with, make sure they know you. Make sure they spend time with you. Make sure that they see you in their events. Make sure that your acquisition criteria is at least similar, and brag about what you can do. You say your skill sets, which is awesome. That tells me that you have something to contribute. I just still don't know what it is. So please, like, if you are looking um to partner with somebody by bringing what your skill set or your net worth or your community, just make sure that you communicate with that group or that person or ourselves. And definitely, like, that's what we're here. That's exactly what we're here to make that happen. Okay. um got it. All right, awesome. No, it's first time. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for raising your hand and asking, because that's seriously, that's the step number one. And maybe what I can do, I have let me see if I have that will anyway. So I will talk about it briefly. The steps to acquire an acquisition, because I realize some of you are like, oh, I don't even know what a PSA is or an LOI. You're speaking Greek to me. So when you first are looking to build your portfolio, the first thing that you want to do, very, very first thing you want to do, is define what are you looking for. So, and maybe you don't know what you're looking for. Let's just put it that way. But let's suppose that I know what I'm looking for, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm looking for. Okay, and this applies to different assets. So in the multifamily, because I'm also buying storage and mobile home parks. Those are those other assets. Every asset has a different acquisition criteria. So let's just stay in the multifamily. In the multifamily, I'm looking for cash flowing properties. If you talk to me last year or even early this year, I would tell you that I'm looking for 120 units and above. After all this market changes, what I can tell you is that if we can find something that is less than 100 and it's cash flowing day one, like truly proven cash flowing day one, we're gonna go after it. So that's rule number one. That's step number one for anyone here. If you don't know what you're looking for, you just don't know what you're looking for. So if you don't know seriously what you're looking for, find the people that you want to work with and ask them, hey, what are you looking for? Because just like this person is like, hey, what can I bring to you? Well, can you look for deals? I mean, we have deals, but let's say that he or she wants to look for deals. Well, that person don't know what I want unless we talk. So always reach out to that person, that whoever you're looking to work with is not a stranger, is not, it should not be, these are, they're going to be your partners. You are looking to give them your time or your hard-earned money. So make sure that you have a clear line of communication. You saw James, he like raises his hand, so comfortable with us because we've been in so many events. We met in person, we met his beautiful wife, which we know we've been, and the same city many times, and they just like you doesn't have to be a like a forced conversation. Just ask, hey, what is your acquisition criteria? What can I help you with? What do I need to be looking for? So first step of acquisition, define what are you looking for, or find who you want to be working with and find out what they're looking for. Okay, number two, you need to fill up your pipeline with leads, with um, um, potential opportunities to buy. So leads or deals or you know, uh, what do you call it? Yeah, just emails that are telling you, hey, I'm selling this property. So that's step number one. Fill up your pipeline. Right. I have a hand raised. Let me bring you over here. One second. What are the events that I can participate in? Um, so yeah, we have I thought I said I saw a hand. Okay, so if you want to raise your hand, I can bring you up. So what are the other things that you can participate? We have so we have mastermind classes. We actually starting one to Monday. And we have um virtual meetups. Those are free. We have this event, Q&A. We do in-person events, so I don't know where you are at located, but we can definitely, um, yeah, you can definitely reach out and maybe we can meet you in person. That'll be the most ideal. We attend a lot of real estate events, so if you know, if you since you're in this webinar tonight, you usually announce everything by email or text to let you know what we're gonna be doing. Um, yeah, Leighton, that learning a lot about raising capital. And so yeah, so step number one, define your criteria. Step number one, fill up your pipeline with leads or potential opportunities, and then learn the basic back of the napkin. If you don't have that, I can definitely share that with you, but you want to be able to underwrite in less than 3 minutes. Like seriously, if that deal makes sense, check it, moving forward. If that deal doesn't make sense, cross it, next one. And then you want to the next step is talk to the broker. Pick up the phone and get to the broker. If you already did the analysis or just looking at the OM and maybe like doing the comps, you just want to go ahead and pick up the phone and get more information. A lot of the times, the information that you get from the broker is going to be things that are not listed in the broker and the OM. The OM is the offering memorandum. Um, and probably the first 100 deals that you analyze, just assume they're not going to make sense. And if you get lucky, you get one. But if the fastest that you get the first 100, if you say next week I'm gonna get 100 deals, I'm gonna analyze them, and probably none of them are gonna make sense, but at least you got to that step. And then you start seeing what happens when you do a lot of repetition. It's not that you're like wasting your time or you're actually learning why am I walking away from this deal? You know, maybe you found that there's like a different year of construction. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that because I have a 70s build and 2000 build. So that's like 30 years difference. Like maybe that's not for me. Maybe you found that there's a rent restriction. But the more that you do the call in the broker, you're gonna learn a lot of information. It's like this was an example that was shared recently. When let's suppose that you have just like me, I have a an iPhone and I was like, this iPhone um is not working for me. I need to get a different iPhone. And so let's suppose James gives me a call and he like, I have a phone and it's a perfect opportunity for you. You can buy it for $50. But I know the phones are not that they're not that cheap in this case. And I know what I'm looking for. so I'm gonna start asking questions like, what is wrong with it? Like, is it a rebuild? Is it whatever you refurbished? Is it, out of guarantee? Like, if I buy it, it's gonna explode in my hand? Or like, I don't know what's wrong with it. It just sounds too good to be true. So that is what's gonna happen when you underwrite 100 deals, and then you're like, yeah, what's wrong with that? What is it? What's been like today? I got a call, one of my mentees, and she's like, I am buying a property, $32,000 per unit. Immediately, I said, what is wrong with it? Because you start seeing the trends, you start seeing what's normal. You start seeing like, okay, the temperature in Texas and the summer is 100 plus. So if they say, "Wow, it's really cold. It's like 60s and the summer in Texas," I'm like, "What's wrong?" Like seriously, like that's alarming. So that's what's gonna happen to you when you underwrite this many deals over and over and over. You're gonna build this like level of knowledge that you don't even realize that it's there. So when you see something or you hear something, you'll be like, "Oh, what's wrong with that?" Something is wrong with that. Like just let's just be clear. Let's tell me. But if you don't know, you're gonna fall for it, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, tell me more about it." And here you are spending your time and your resources just finding and chasing a lead that is not gonna take you anywhere. James, you raised your hand. You up for more pain? Let me get you to the panelist room. Thank you for being here, guys. I keep picking on you. Just easy to do so.
Hi, I just have one quick question.
Uh-huh.
What is typical for an acquisition fee? I'm kind of learning that it ends up replenishing a lot of money that you're pouring out until you get the deal, but like what is a fair number usually?
I would say depending on the size of the deal, 1 to 2% is
1 to
normal.
2%.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like because remember when let's suppose you have a deal and like five other people in this call have a deal, everybody's gonna be looking at like why is this person charging 0.5%? And why is this person charging 5%? You know?
I could answer that question.
Why?
Ooh, I mean, because like for example, like so this deal is $3.2 million, right?
Mhm.
So if I was to charge 1%, that would be about $32,000. But in order for me to get this across the finish line, I first have to pay a lawyer to review the PSA. That's like a 500 to 1,000. Then I gotta close the deal. That's gonna be 30,000 when I go to sign the PSA. And then I gotta pay due diligence. That's 12,500. And then I gotta get a syndication lawyer. That's about another $12,000. So I'm looking at it. I'm at like 70 grand.
Yeah.
So that's 2% almost right there. And that just is that's money that has to be bled out just to get it
Yeah.
across the finish line.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. And a lot of this, and thank you for bringing that up. A lot of that, those fees, I mean, the fees that you just listed are very, industry standard. So that's what it takes to bring a deal to even invite, some of the passive investors. Because as of now, if you don't have a PPM, you're not legally um, able to raise capital. So absolutely, there is like if you have and depending on the size of the deal, the due diligence is not going to be $12,000 for a 200 units. So there's quite a bit of money that goes up, and um and that's what we call risk capital. Because let's suppose that something happens right now, and if that all the money is coming out of you or your partners, and if you have to walk away from the deal, you just lost that money. Yeah. And that's the risk of being a GP and you put in the risk capital. Now, if you continue to move forward and you close the deal successfully, then you should be compensated for that, because you took the risk and you put the money up front. And so the way we compensate our partners and everybody in the deal, we have a very subjective no, sorry, very objective way to break down who gets compensated for what and how much they get compensated for out of the 20% that is kept for the GPs. Great
That
question.
was super helpful. Thank you.
Good, good, good. No problem. Awesome. Well, Let's see if there's any. Yeah, learning a lot for sure. Raising capital is definitely a huge responsibility. But when you are able to collaborate with others and acquire this, like you say, 3.2, is that what you're paying for the deal?
Yes,
Yeah.
3.2 million.
Yeah, if when you're collaborating with other people and then you put this deal together and everybody didn't have to come up with the 30% that is required to close this deal, everybody wins. And so that's the nice part about the acquisitions like this large. We have we have a deal that we're paying 2.7. It was for sale at three. They wanted 3.1, and we have it on under contract for $2.7 million. It's an $81,000 per door. And right now the deal has increased in value just because of the interest. I mean the rent increases. It has a value of $3.2 million. So again, I couldn't pay for that.
That's great.
I will have to,
That's a win-win. Wow.
yeah, exactly. So like when you do the syndications and buy in groups, as long as everybody plays the role that that needs to be played and everybody makes money is the most beautiful thing. Because again, a lot of our investors are busy professionals, they're business owners that they don't have the time that we have to find deals and the connections to find the deals to put the $70,000 up front to get this deal just close to being offered as a potential investment opportunity. And so because of that, everybody wins. For those investors that don't have the time, they're like, yeah, I would love to invest with you. So awesome. Well, do you have any other questions, James?
No, that's been great. Yeah, but I mean, initially I thought like, oh yeah, 1% will be fine. I mean, that's like a really good payday for me, but I'm really learning very fast that it's not really a payday at all. It's really just payback. Like, so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all the work that you're doing. Yeah. And if you're the only one that is keeping that, that's one thing. But if you have to bring other partners to, you know, compensate them, how are you going to attract them and compensate them is by sharing that acquisition fee. So that acquisition fee is divided. And again, if you have, let's suppose that you have two other partners, then the other partners also should be putting money upfront to help you absorb that burden. But it's definitely not it's not a freebie for sure. Yeah,
All right, thank you.
no problem. Yeah, thank you for the questions. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you being here. We want to be respectful of your time. We want to make sure that we answer questions, but you guys have really good questions today. I really appreciate that. If you are available and looking forward to build that level of knowledge, because many of these events depend on what questions are brought up. You know, we can go on with capital raising. We can go on like doing due diligence, putting your team together. How do I, find the deals? Like there's so many levels of knowledge, buckets that we can build up. But many of these events are like, hey, whatever questions come up is what we talked about. So, but if you're looking to have a continuity and then just building up your knowledge level, I'm doing a 10 sessions mastermind master calls that it goes through the 10 steps that we do to acquire a multifamily and any real estate asset for sure. And we take a little deeper dive into setting up your contracts, bringing investors, finding your partners, raising your capital, getting lending, understanding what type of lending can you put in this deal, and underwriting. So we do have that starting Monday. Yeah, Monday. We're doing Monday and Friday. We want to get this done before the holidays. So if you are up for that, let me know. I will send a text to all of you that are here so I can invite you for that. But it's gonna be a more structured building blocks pretty much, and we're gonna go step by step, from step 1 to step 10, 10 sessions, and we're just gonna do content sharing and then Q&A. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. And again, just keep Keep crushing, keep, underwriting, finding deals, filling up your pipeline, and always staying in community. Thank you for being here.